I want to know, now that you can actually talk about the upcoming season this fall, please tell us what you guys are going to be doing this year.
There's a lot. There's a whole bunch. Probably one of the most insane things we did was there's a myth about a sports car, late 70s, early 80s sports car that's supposedly more aerodynamically efficient going backwards than forwards. So, of course, the end of the episode involves us taking that car, cutting its chassis totally off its body, flipping it 180, and racing it against a regular, unmodified car. And it's the image, it still hurts my brain, watching a car go backwards at 100 miles an hour.
Now, is that your favorite thing that we're going to see, or is that just something that you remembered to tell as a hint?
No, it's probably one of the most spectacular things. But my favorite thing that I did is always the most recent. It's also the only one I can remember, because I mean we're doing like 40 of these, 40 different stories a year. It's like I can't even remember what I was doing 3 weeks ago, but that was the most recent one.
Yeah, the other ones again recently were for us we pulled a tablecloth out from under a banquet table full of table settings with a motorcycle, which is pretty hilarious at times, and we've also built an aero machine gun, which worked quite well.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
No, we actually we also finally tested, and I'm not even going to go into the testing procedures, but we did test the James Bond myth of, can you put on a tuxedo and then put on full scuba gear and scuba dive to a fancy ball and take off your scuba gear and somehow pass as like being properly dressed for the ball. And it is awesome.
And we can't know the outcome of that. What if I miss that episode? I kind of want to know.
You're going to have to check Twitter or something like that.
You're going to make me...
I'm going to make you wait. Sorry, can't give it away.
That's all right. Now, in watching the episodes, it's always interesting to me who goes where and when, as far as splitting up the teams at certain points. How do you guys decide who's going to do what in any individual episode, and how do you guys decide who's going to play with who?
A lot of it is up to our personal preference. Some of it is, we also have to look for the composition of the episode as a whole. Some things may not match together because every episode has at least a couple of myths in it. So it's pretty subjective why. There's no real rules other than we want to do it that way.
Oh, there are a few rules. If there's something disgusting, you're going to make me do it. That's definitely on the list. I think we definitely play to our likes, dislikes, fears, our the things that we're really good at, the things that we're really not good at. Like we know that Grant is terrified of spiders, so we have an episode where we're testing cold feet. Do your feet actually drop in temperature when you're terrified? And we built a little apparatus that drops 25 hand-sized tarantulas that jump onto his head.
But it's not just, sort of dropping tarantulas. It's that my head is enclosed in a clear cube, fully enclosed, and there's a hole at the top. And the spiders get dropped in one by one. And so they're all contained in this little space around my head.
Well, are you guys ever worried that you're putting him with these spiders that he obviously hates, that there's something could go wrong and he could wind up in the hospital or dead from a spider bite, which he's fearing? I mean, is that ever a fear?
They didn't tell me, really. They didn't tell me that the spiders were defanged. So, the whole time, and that's to sort of build that the idea is to use us as human guinea pigs, and so you have to build that fear.
They were darling little spiders. They weren't aggressive. They were like little hamsters.
That's true. They handled them, so I knew that they weren't going to, do anything really bad to me.
But really, the I think these guys have nailed it. The thing is who's going to be funnier? Like, that's who gets to test stuff. Whose reaction is going to be more hilarious? And sometimes it's me going, goddamn, I hurt myself, or Jamie going, that's horrible. Ow. That might be the funniest thing, and then it might be something that one of us has always wanted to try. I mean, that's often.
Or if there's a stunt thing, for example, like Tory would be the go-to guy for that.
We had a movie myth this episode, and it's from Lethal Weapon, where a car is carrying a surfboard. It crashes into another car. It flies off the roof and crashes through another windshield, killing a person. So we actually tested that one, and that one was pretty insane. I mean, some of the stuff we made this giant surfboard slingshot. I can't tell you what happened, but it's pretty.
Who's the dummy in that? I mean, you used obviously a dummy, right? Because I think in the movie the head gets cut off. Is that right? So what's in there? Like a dummy full of blood, or?
We made a human analog. So we took a pig, left the spine in there, wrapped it, sewed it up, and made like a neck, and then put a head on top of that. So it's
just
a very
all in
human-like.
What did you do with the pig afterwards? Did you have like an old,
We had a barbecue.
like luau? Yeah. That sounds great. Now, one of the things that interested me when watching the show is this boat you guys made out of duct tape. And it was amazing to look at. And I'm wondering, when you have that stuff, do you keep it in a warehouse somewhere and someday it's going to go on a traveling like Smithsonian Roadshow? Or
Absolutely, totally. Actually, the duct tape boat still hangs from the ceiling of the MythBusters shop, M5, Jamie's shop. I mean, not only do we hope that it goes into some traveling MythBusters museum show at some point, but we want to take it back out on the bay.
that's what I was going to say. Do you ever, just dream about getting it back out there and just going for a joyride? Because it was one of the coolest looking boats I think I've ever seen, and the fact that it floated was amazing. And that guy's blowing up over there. Now, is there anything that you guys have wanted to do for a long time that you just can't do because it might be too dangerous or it might change something in the dynamic of the show?
Yeah, everyone always thinks that there's perhaps something like that, but there's almost nothing that we haven't figured out a way to test. The stuff that we end up like not doing is often the stuff that's probably too boring to test. Like, I don't know, social myths or things where, you don't have something you can sink your teeth into. But pretty much for the dangerous stuff, we've always found a way.
Now, you can control danger. That's not a problem. I mean, we've got friends in FBI, police, bomb squad. I mean, anything you can imagine. Danger's not the issue ever.
Well, when you guys go to movies or you're watching TV shows, is it one of those things where you almost can't relax and enjoy it because you're watching every moment thinking, I want to know if I can try that? Or do you guys ever get to lose yourself in whatever you're watching at this point?
I don't know. Last night I was watching a movie. When I got back into the room, I was like, oh my God, we have to try that. So it's kind of exciting. It's not.
What was it?
There was a Vin Diesel movie with a car
Triple
and
X?
some NOS and the lighter, and they all exploded.
Fast and the Furious.
Yes. It was like,
Yeah.
we could
Fast
do
and
that.
Furious. Got that one.
We come from a special effects background, so for us, I think that we're already used to the illusion of the story being tainted by what we know about what it takes to make a movie.
But we're still totally able to have the suspension of disbelief.
Yeah,
That's true.
And I think the best is when you watch a movie. Like I remember watching Lord of the Rings, and I felt like I was a kid again. It was that feeling of going, oh my gosh, they have created this world, and I totally believe it. Every character. There's nothing that looks fake. I love those moments where you're just like, I feel like a kid again. That feeling when, just being completely wowed by a movie.
So you can get lost if they're good special effects.
Yeah. Or it's a good story.
It's a good story.
Yeah, it's the
special
story.
effects don't matter for crap unless the story's good.
Have you guys tried something from Lord of the Rings? God, did you hear my voice just almost give out right there?
Peter Brady, I like it when
I know.
it's time to change.
You should go in the studio right now and record that.
Lord of the Rings, I don't know that we've done any. There's definitely some potential myth testable stuff in the war machines of the orcs.
Yeah.
But I don't see. We haven't gone there yet.
Is there any character that is a favorite of yours from Lord of the Rings?
What are you getting at?
Gollum.
Oh,
Do you?
sorry.
Do your Gollum. Come on.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's pretty good.